If you are a secondary teacher looking for high interest, low vocabulary books for your students, you might take a look at Follett ebooks. We have quite a number of books that are published by Orca Publishing and Saddleback Books, and those are both publishers who are known for high interest, low vocabulary books. So to get to those, go to Keystone's webpage, click on Online Resources, and I usually scroll down on the blue column. It's an alphabetical listing, and I'm going to go to Follett ebooks. And for this example, I'm going to choose the secondary shelf because that's where the high-low books are. Notice that I've got some options here too. I can get a list by author and title of all the materials that are in Follett ebooks. And here's where I can go to get the Discovery Reader app if I want it on my laptop. And I'll show you that in a little bit too. But for right now, I'm going to click on Follett Shelf and type in my username. And if you don't know what your username is, check with your teacher librarian or call Keystone. You might not have one set up. This is different than your teacher login for the online resources, and it's also not your 6-digit teacher number. This Follett ebook number is different because it's like having a book checked out in your school library or your public library. It's private information, and so everybody has their own login, so you can check out your own books and not share them with someone else. So when I log into Follett ebooks, notice at the top left it's now called Destiny Discover. And in the search box, I'm going to type in high interest, low vocabulary, and click the enter button. And I have 170 titles that are considered high interest, low vocabulary. And I can scroll down and look through those. But I'm going to go ahead and take Dog Walker, and I can open that up. And notice I have a scroll bar at the bottom, so I could scroll through and choose certain pages. If I know that I want to start on page 38, I could do that. Then I could hit the play button over on the left, and I'll have audio. If you do not see the play button there, then you know there is no audio. But there is for most of these high interest, low vocab books.
Why would I tell them that? The owners just want their dogs to get some exercise. Well, take good care of their dogs. Are you gonna walk some dogs too?
And I'll stop. You notice it's a computerized voice. So let's say that we want to change that voice. If I go up to the top menu and click on Book, I can scroll to Text to Speech, and I can change the voice, and I can change the speed. And then click Apply. So you might want to consider that if you don't like the voice that you hear. You can also change the display by clicking on this double A at the top. Notice I can zoom in and zoom out. I can fit to the width or the height. So for example, I can fit to the width. Notice how that changes on my computer. And I can also say, well, I want 1 page or 2 page. Now I'm not sure there. I guess that'll work okay. But I might want to zoom out for this because I've got all this on 1 page. And then I can play around with the screen color. Right now I have it on sepia, but I could change it to something else. And then I could have it red again. Depending on your device, that's how you have to play around with the display. If you've got a handheld device, it almost adjusts a little bit easier than it does on a laptop that I'm using. So let's say I've looked at this. Now what I can do is I can go under Book, and I can check out the title. Because notice now all I've done is pulled it off the shelf, just like in a regular physical library. I've looked at it, but if I put it back on that shelf, or if I close out, someone else could come and check out that title. So if I for sure want it tomorrow or when I get home, then I need to check out this title. And now it tells me it's been checked out. Notice it had a due date. Mine was only a couple days from now because this is a trial login, but you will have 2 weeks, and you can check out 2 books at a time. When the books are due, they automatically go back to the shelf. You won't have any due notices, and if you are not done with it, you can check it back out right away. So I'm going to go up in the top left, click on Back, And then I wanted to show another way to get some high interest low vocabulary books, or at least low vocabulary books. And I'll wait for it to display. Now notice I'm back to my total shelf, which is 1,016 titles. One thing I wanted to mention is if I look at these titles, I can click on the information button and it will tell me how many copies. So in this example, I've got 2 copies. A lot of our books, we have 4 copies. I noticed those high-low books, we had a lot of them, we had 4. But let's say we want to browse by accelerated reader, reading counts, or Lexile. We could do that, or notice we've got some other choices. So for example, if I know that we use accelerated reader and I need titles that are in a certain range, AR range, I can move that and say I need it between 6 and 7, and then that tells me we have 22 titles that are cataloged in that category. I click apply. Before I do that, notice I can also sort by points. So if I'm in a hurry and I need 4 points quickly, that might make a difference. Then if I wait a second, it's going to have to process a bit. Then it'll bring up those 22 titles that I have. I think I hit apply. Yep, we did. So here are my 22 titles that are in that AR level. Another way that I can do this, and I'm going to, is go up to the top. I'm going to go back to the very beginning. Oh, here's where it is. I should be able to click on X and that will clear all. I want to clear all. And then that should bring me back to that 1,000 titles, and that's kind of what I'm waiting for. And there we go. Okay. There we go. So now I'm back to my 1,000 titles. So let's say I want something on baseball. So I can type in baseball and click enter or return. And I have 11 titles on baseball. And then I could go over here and narrow that down. So let's say I know my Lexile level. I can narrow that down and say, well, I really need titles that are in this Lexile range, 820 to 940. That gives me 3 titles that are cataloged in that range. I click apply, and soon that will narrow down to 11. And there are 3, and there are my 3 that are at that Lexile level. And so then I could click on that book or one of the books and have a book on baseball at my reading level. Notice in this example, we do not have the read aloud functionality, and so there the play is not there. And you might be able to tell that by going here. You'll see that the text-to-speech setting is not there. But let's say I decide I want to put this Destiny Discover on my iPad or a different device. I can go to my device, log into Keystone's webpage with the browser that I have on my device, go to the online resources, go to Follett eBooks, open up one of these just like we have here, and click on Download App, and I'll have the options to download depending on my device. So if I have an iPad, I would click here. If I have a Kindle or a Nook or an Android or a Windows machine or a Mac, I would click there. And what it does is takes me to the appropriate store, for example, the iTunes store, and I can download that app. The advantage of that, of having an app, is that one, I think you can adjust the display a little bit better, and I'm not going to do that. But it also, let's say it will allow you to read the book without an internet connection. So if you've got a slow internet, or let's say you're at school or at home and you want to take a book with you, you can download them to your device and then read them in the car or on the school bus or somewhere where there's not internet. And that's how you access a Follett shelf or Destiny Discover. And when I'm done, then I can go up to my login. It will have your name here if you're logged in as you, and then I click log out.